the hell do you have on? So
ladies, gentlemen, welcome to a Connoisseur's Conversation. Welcome to another vibe, if I shall say. Today's conversation, I want to talk about, let's just be about the drying. Let's talk about what it is to have fragrances that sparkle. In this time of summer, you really start to get enveloped with the heat. You start to get enveloped with the vibe of what summer has become, what your summer and outlook of summer will be. And for me, this is a time of not just a little bit of contemplation about what I want to wear and what's been working for me, but fragrances that really can convey the summer essence. And so for me, I want to talk about the scents that feel like chilled champagne, just all about the sunlight bouncing off of the glass, or like the favorite jazz song at your favorite jazz festival coming out, like a Toronto or Cincinnati. Just playing with the vinyl and playing with the vibe, playing with cocktails, playing with life in general. You want to have a vibe, this is that particular scent profile. We're diving into the world of effervescent, bright, and elegant notes. Today, I want to talk about those that are not just fresh, as I've been talking about lately. These are not just fresh, they're refined freshness in a way that gives you something more of a prominent persona in your fragrance wearing wardrobe. These are for those, for someone who appreciates just everything from living inside of luxury and just like I'm going to actually showcase a fragrance from Bentley. So just think about sitting inside of a Bentley interior, those type of luxury feelings, and feeling inside of a tailored suit like you're in the south of France or in Monaco. Just being about living life, and you want to feel a smell of a great sophistication inside of a cigar bar, but you want to smell bright and citrusy. These are fragrances that come along with the perfect pour. These are the ones that you want in your skin. So if this content is for you, I want you to pull up a seat. I want you to pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through understanding of different aromas, facets, and nuances of scent, cigars, and wines. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's wonderful experience. We're going to talk about the fizz, the deep breath of a fizzy fragrance that has an effervescent feel. Most of these in this collection of fragrances I'm going to show you have a lime accord or effervescent bergamot or neroli or something like that. That also culminates around this spicy, maybe a juniper or a scent of spicy, airy, light, aromatic, driven type of fragrances. And so this one here, I want to start out with one that come into my life years ago. I have the Parfum edition of this. I don't even think they make these anymore for this particular brand, but if you get the actual EDP, you're going to go just fine. Let's get right into the house of Ormonde Jayne and talk about Ormonde Man. Like I stated, this one here, this is a Parfum edition of Ormonde Jayne. This is one, it's about an 8 to 9 year old fragrance for me. It's been in my collection for quite some time, and one that just wears phenomenal. As I stated, this is an attar, and actually I'm going to be introducing more of my collection of attars to you gentlemen. I know you guys have been in the game for a long time. Many of you have got the attars into your collection. Many of you are questioning what attars is, if they're valuable or if they're worth it. I have quite a few in my collection that I think need to be brought to the attention of you gentlemen because they wear great. They have great projection and sillage, and they have a phenomenal scent structure when it comes to the actual breakdown of a scent that you love or like in perfumery, be it EDT or EDP. The depth and breadth of these particular parfums are phenomenal. This one is, like I said, the EDP or the Parfum edition for Ormonde Man, and it is just one of those fragrances that just has a non-typical citrus freshness feeling. It's a sparkling fragrance that's wrapped in a little bit of mystery from the notes that Gaze is showing placed in this one, like hemlock. It's classy, but it's one that, like I stated, in a freshie that you would wear to a cigar lounge. It has this deep green velvet jacket feel to it. You get noticed with it. It smells great. It feels phenomenal. And women ultimately become something of a actual, not on allure, but actually just mesmerized with what this scent can do. If you ask many men in the community about what Ormonde Jayne and Ormonde Man does, it's one of those fragrances that just has a great calling card, great structure. It's bright, but it's grounded. It's gentlemanly. It's like a forestation while still being urban. It's elegant, and it sparkles. And that's why it's on this list of the number one fragrance to talk about. This is the Ormonde Jayne Parfum edition. If you get the EDP, you're going to be just fine with the way it wears, because I have had the EDP in my collection and it does smell just as similar. This one just had a little more depth and a little bit more character-driven mid structure to it. But it's all in all, both fragrances are phenomenal when it comes to a sparkling scent in the summertime to wear out on an evening like a cigar bar, like I said. So that's Ormonde Man Parfum. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into a classic. This is a fragrance that's been in my life since 1996. This came out with one of the best notes. You had Acqua di Gio back then, Issey Miyake, Nautica Voyage. You had Polo Sport. You had Tommy Hilfiger. All these fragrances from these designer brands were just coming out, and we were getting just inundated with beautiful fragrances, cool water from Davidoff. And in that day and time, and since then, this fragrance has been in my collection. This has got to be like my 5th bottle of this one. My collection will never go without having Issey Miyake, L'Eau d'Issey Perron. It's one of the brightest, freshest feeling, out of the shower yet peculiar smelling fragrances. It's one that has a classic feel because it is from the 90s, but it's also having this modernization to it, because it's probably like a lot of our introduction to clean fragrances back in the day, we didn't know about yuzu. It was all about sparkling bergamots more than likely. But when this came out with that yuzu opening, it was unmatched, and it still has become one of those fragrances that can become unmatched if you don't have yuzu in your collection. So with this one here, it was like slicing through a cold citrus fruit with a samurai sword. You know, it was that cool to have this in your collection. All the hip hop artists at the time were talking about this particular scent, and if you did not have Issey Miyake, you were not getting the ladies. But if you did, it was a calling card for seduction in your high school and college years back then. And so for me, you get this wet, aquatic feeling from this one, but it's better leans toward the marine scent when it comes into that sporty vibe versus the marine vibe. This one leans to that marine vibe, and it's a refined fragrance that you truly can love on your skin for daily wear. I would say think of this as wearing a beautiful white linen outfit or garment in Tokyo. You know, you're surrounded by glass structures, or maybe some waters around you. It's timeless, it's elegant, and it's still relevant to this day. I say get your nose on this unmistakably superb fresh scent from the house of Issey Miyake. This is the original L'Eau d'Issey Perron. One of the finer fresh fragrances on the market that comes at a very, very inexpensive price point is the scent of Silverlake from the house of Bentley. Bentley, I believe, is a brand that's under license by Lalique. We know that they make some not only beautiful bottles and crystals, but they make some phenomenal fragrances that do come in at a phenomenal price point, especially on gray markets and Amazon and stuff like that. So this is a $100, $120 bottle of fragrance that they sell locally in the malls and online, like I stated, for about $40, $45. Great pickup. It smells like a fresh, clean take of a Silver Mountain air. Something that you will get from the fragrances like Acqua di Gio, something you will get from the fragrances, I would say, like the clean, effervescent feeling of a Silver Mountain water or a Himalaya from Creed. That's the type of essence you get from this one. Now this one here, it's a little bit of a modern take on what it is to have the Acqua di Gio, because it has some of the actual nuances that will better be represented in their flanker lines. But all in all, Silverlake from Bentley is one of those fragrances that has the crisp mountain air feel. It smells like you're like behind the wheel of something truly powerful, like a Bentley automobile, like a Bentley GT or a Mulliner. It's a very smooth fragrance. Right away you get the zesty lemon up top, then you get this cool violet leaf that brings in the sleek metallic edge, which is wonderful about this one, which would apropos make it named Silverlake. It makes it smell somewhere like a fresh snow melting, like Himalaya wood as well. So you get that chrome, metallic, silvery type of feeling and effervescent feeling from this particular scent, and it makes it sparkle. It's simply put, it needs to be on an effervescent sparkling list, because to you and me, this will come off phenomenal. Into the feminine nose, it's one of those fragrances that's just clean, smooth, it's seductive. You know, it comes off, you can even put this in categories like Dior Homme Sport or L'Or Homme Sport from Chanel, where it's really something that feels truly polished and truly eventful to wear, especially in summertime, summer heat. That is the scent of Silverlake for men from the house of Bentley. One of those great scents that just, I know it's a not under the radar scent, but you need to get your nose on it, especially if you want to get a pull grab for the gym. Perfect scent at the price point. Get your nose on it. Next up, we start to head into the Ooh Wee fragrances, as I like to say. This Ooh Wee fragrance here is one from the house of Fragrance Du Bois. All right, let's talk about getting dressed up. Let's talk about it a bit of how we can make the sparkling, seductive fragrance a little bit more classy. You start to go into the realm of the night and evening wear, something that's more sparkling, something that is more effervescent but has a little bit more spicy content to it. London Spice is the key one to that notation. There's also another one on this list that kind of gives you the vibe of this one that many people are talking about, but not everybody's picking up on. One of my favorites from the house of Xerjoff, but I will bring that up in a moment. We're going to stay stuck and locked in with the house of Fragrance Dubois and London Spice. This one here. This one feels like if you're going to do a visit to London, of course, the Mayfair country, this is one that I would think of when you talk about going to a cigar bar. If you ever been to London, they have some of the best cigar bars you would ever go to in your lifetime, man. Any cigar lover that watches this channel, if you have the opportunity, Parisian and UK cigar bars are the best. You get the best of Cuban cigars, you get the best of the Monte Cristo brand, the best when it comes to Davidoff. You find some of the best Davidoffs that you won't even find here in the States, man. It's one of the best places to go and smoke a cigar, have a great dinner with your loved ones or your friends. All in all, the breeze, the fresh breeze of this one is like stepping into a lounge. You have your fresh linen or seersucker blazer on. You're feeling top notch. You're feeling classy. You get the peppery kick from this one, the citrusy kick from this one, but it sparkles like an old school gin and tonic type of fragrance. And that's why this one is on this list, because that's exactly what it does. It uplifts you. It's one that I will say this, you will feel comfortable in suede, you'll feel comfortable in linen, you will feel comfortable throughout 3 seasons with this one, because you get this sexiness of this leathery tonality of one of those spices. It's like being in a luxury lounge. You get nutmeg, you get a little saffron, you get all these warm textures, but it always is enveloped by the sparkle of it, and it's got this high-low contrast to it that makes you feel phenomenal. It's bright on top and it's buttery smooth underneath it. That's the way you can wear this fragrance and think of it ultimately. This one whispers just luxurious, money. Basically, that's what this one does. It's effervescent, but it still has that real depth to it, and you will never get enough of wearing this particular scent because it is one of those phenomenal wearing fragrances that we tend to love. I'm going to spritz this one real quick. This might be my scent of the day, the way it's coming off the atomizer. Love this scent, man. Get your nose on London Spice from the house of Fragrance Dubois. Ladies and gentlemen, let's tap in real quick on this 8-part list to one of the Xerjoff that is here. This is the scent of Neo. Neo is one of those fragrances that have been in the collection, as you can see, but ultimately showcasing you one of my vintage bottles. Neo, one of the very first Neroli and Bergamot fragrances that I got next to and adjacent to Neroli Portofino back in the day. It really put Neroli Portofino on the back burner back then. Wore it a lot, wear it a lot. It's one of those fragrances that year after year you can come back to, especially on those 90-degree days and above. This one here, it delivers. It basically is a bergamot bomb. That's what you get from this one, sparkling bergamot. But it's not loud, it's refined. It's one of those blessed fragrances that really come true to a note and really give you a defining DNA around it, because the bergamot in this one, it comes in like watching a Rolls Royce glide just slightly down a private drive, man. It's one of those perfectly nuanced fragrances for you when you want to have a sparkling scent on in just a warm midsummer heat, like that 4 o'clock hour where you got the sun overhead and it's 93 degrees and it's sweltering. You see the heat coming off the asphalt and you want to still go outside and be fresh and clean and walk amongst the people or be amongst the crowd or just live your own bubble. You're going to find that this one here, this Neroli with this green leafy texture, this ginger, it's crisp and it's herbaceous, which makes it a phenomenal wear with a little more depth than you would think from just a normal bergamot fragrance. It has this gorgeous spicy sparkle to it that I come to enjoy over the years, and I wanted to show that to you in this particular list because if you're standing in the garden or you're on the Amalfi Coast, this is one that you have on your fresh list year after year, summer after summer, rainy days, stormy days, cloudy days, even the brightest of days. This is one of those scents that really suggests that put on a pair of linen trousers, a linen shirt, some sunglasses, get yourself some sparkling, seltzer water, sit back and relax with a lime twist inside of it, and you got one that carries you through the day with a sexy, adulterated kind of vibe. This is Neo from the house of Xerjoff. Next up on the list, let's talk about another very well composed, very well priced fragrance from a fragrance house that is in the niche range that you can get at a beautiful price point. This is the fragrance Luministe, and this one right here, man, you can't get enough of wearing Luministe. I don't know why it's not talked about any longer. I know it's one of those fragrances that's been on the market for quite some time, but everyone that's new to fragrance needs to be put up onto this, because if you're not someone who's been told about the brand of Luministe and what it was to have this as a particular bottle in your collection along with the 1270, you were missing out, because this was one that was right along and adjacent to some of the houses like Creed and Killian, and then Xerjoff when they started out. All these brands, including this one, you had Luminis, and it was one that just was elevated. It was champagne-like, it was French elegance, and it was bottled to be presented in the summertime. This one here, imagine you're sipping, I would say a chilled French wine, Chenin Blanc or something like that on a rooftop in Paris. That's the vibe you get. It's just one that turns heads, and someone sees you and they come up close to you and they feel that you have this fragrance on, and the air about you is just one that has that sex appeal, but it's not one that has that cologne type of essence to it. It really has a different type of appeal to it. It really fills the air with this juniper berry and this very warm citrus and pink pepper essence that is then added to a dry woody tonka bean sweetness, and that anchors it. It makes it one of the very best freshies on the market that sparkles. I really truly don't get enough of wearing this one. It's one of those fragrances, again, that you have to have a second bottle to actually stop wearing it. You go through the first one so quickly because of the enjoyment you get on it. It's just a phenomenal scent. And it's a real miss if you don't have this in your collection at under $100, man, because a 100 ml bottle, I've heard complaints of many times I heard about this brand. I am not one that has that complaint, because many brands have that where you only smell a fragrance for 5 to 6 hours. I don't have a complaint about it at all. If I want to refresh, I will. But at 5 to 6 hour mark on this one, the profile you get, it's a wonderful scent. It's playful, it's jovial, but it's grown. It's a summer scent that's a summer staple, and it wears just as well as any other thing in your collection, to me. So if you're going out, you put on a dinner jacket, you're going out, you're putting on a linen camp collar shirt, or you're just chilling, relaxing, this is the perfect match to that ensemble. This is Luminis. This is from Frapin. It's a great, great fragrance to have in your collection that sparkles. Get your nose on it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to the end of this list, and as I talked about earlier, one of the fragrances that really gives me a notion of what London Spikes does, but they have a different nuance to them. But they both deserve some shine because they're phenomenal fragrances. Let's talk about it. This is talk about being in palatial estates. This is Louis the 1722 from the house of Xerjoff, and it's a grandeur type of fragrance in a grandeur style bottle. This one here opens up like a royal celebration, and that's what they made it for. It's simply put, it's sparkling champagne bottle. It's bergamot, it's lemon, it's citrus oils. It's like having this beautiful golden light shimmer over top of your head, man. This is one, when I say sparkling, and I really mean truly sparkling fragrances, not something that's feminine, not something, it's about a bright light that's coming off in your aura. You smell inviting, you smell of great citrus with a pop of spice and a pop of aromatics. Simply put, this crystal cut glass is one of the best smelling fragrances when it comes to that effervescent sparkle style of scent. This one here, it has a slightly powdery lean to it amongst this warm, musky, enveloping base mid-level type of scent. It's like you're giving this versatility to this fragrance in your wardrobe. When you have it on your skin, it goes on woody, musky, effervescent. It goes into the sexy vanilla effervescence after that. And it's one that I would say, if you're hosting a party, or if you're wearing a tuxedo, if you're wearing something to a wedding, this is the extravaganza style of fragrance. It's extravagant. It's one that is sexy, but it's not gaudy. It's one that has the sparkle that is unmatched, as I was talking about, and it has a sex appeal to it that you won't go. You basically would love wearing this. Get a sample of this, is what I must say, and see what you feel about it on your skin. But on mine, it's playful, it's jovial, it's sophisticated, and it ones that checks all the boxes when it comes to a sparkling fragrance in the summertime. And it actually leans great in spring. Wore it so many times this particular spring and had a phenomenal wearing experience with it each and every time I wore it. So get your nose on that. That is Louis the 1722 from the house of Xerjoff. And finally, guys, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the main sparkle of the evening. One of my favorite fragrances now, and probably forever. You've heard this particular scent profiled amongst many gentlemen on this particular platform. Talk about how good it is, how well it wears. This is the third time, I believe, on the list this summer, just telling you how much it has been a gravitational pull for me as a fragrance. This is Burlington 1819. And if you want to talk about a fresh fragrance from a guy who loves his spicy, woody, depthful orientals, this is, to me, the calling card for when it comes to that actual DNA of a freshie for me. This is as close as I can get to a sparkling effervescent style of fragrance that has that still, this lingering effect of what it is to have a mid-fall style of fragrance in depth inside of it. It's just beautiful the way Roja made this one. This is a powerhouse. This is the scent that gives you this exploding lime and this beautiful grapefruit inside of it with a bitter orange. It then has this sparkle citrus cocktail shaken into this precision woody cocktail. It comes in, it gets a little boozy, it gets a little rum and ginger on top of it, with like a little tobacco as well. It's one that's, to me, it feels of walking to a high-end speakeasy, but it's, you know, that's the style that you will see hidden behind a tailor shop, where you want to walk in and it's ultimately gentlemen in pinstripes, talking about banking, talking about forward momentum, talking about getting the job done. This is the type of scent that will not only spark conversation about what you're wearing there, but once you come out to the mainstream and talk about walking through the city streets and into the world where women are around you and they linger and they want to leave an impression on you, and you come in and you leave an impression on them with this particular sweet, warm, spicy trail that has this seductive notes of, like I said, spicy tobacco and effervescent grapefruit in it, you're going to come off as one of the best smelling people in that particular area every single time. You will not be looked at anything other than one of the best people, smelling people in the room. It's bold, it's one that's creative, it comes and it has this one, if you're a closer, if you're one who wants to think of yourself as a closer, as one in business who wants to have that sentiment of being the one to go to, this is that particular scent, man. This is the sparkle of Roja Parfums, and this is Burlington 1819. Get your nose on. All right, gentlemen. So look, when it comes to talking about effervescent fragrances, we are most times talking about citrus-based fragrances. That's a lot of it. But we want to talk about those sparkling-based fragrances with a lot of texture to them. That's what I just presented to you. If you have an idea of what you think sparkling is, and you don't have any of these collections, get one or two of these. I gave you a range from $40 to $400 in this particular list. And each one has its own particular nuance that really can come to be something of a signature scent for you. And so for me, talking about this particular scent profile, it was one to bring you into an arena where you will have presence, and that's the ability to lift your mood and sharpen your style in one simple spray of a fragrance. That's what this was about. So these scents, they bring clarity, they bring sophistication, and they kind of polish the brightness that you will find in a well-made suit and a freshly detailed coupe or a freshly tailored suit. This is what I want to talk about today, and this is what I got across to you. And I hope that you enjoyed this, because if you've got an iced cold Negroni in your hand right now and you're in the south of France, this is the type of content you want to hear and this type of fragrance you want to wear. So whether you're keeping it classic or you're wearing fragrances like Issey Miyake, which is a classic 1990s fragrance, or you're going into something that has a little more depth, profile, and grandeur, like the scent of Xerjoff Louis XV. These are the ones that will keep you remembered. These are the ones with the real sparkle, and they don't scream, they shine, and that's exactly what this list was about. So until next time, have a blessed day. I'll see you in that video.